So you probably heard lighting is the most important thing in getting a good video or photo. Well, today I'm going to be specifically talking about video lighting and how you can get that amazing lighting to make your video look good, but also keep it on a small budget. Hello, I'm Leif from Anything Cameras, the channel that focuses on helping you improve your filming and photography. And as I said, in today's video, we're going to be looking at budget light options for video. So what do you want for a good video like this? Well, there are a few key lights. Now, we've gone over this in another video. It's called 3-point lighting. You have a key light. I have one over here. You have a fill light. I got one over here. And then a backlight. You can see it right there. That's just kind of shining on my head to give me a little separation from the background. So for a 3-point light setup, all you need is 3 lights, and you'll get some great quality video. So let's talk about what lights you should get and what types of modifiers you should get for the light, like soft boxes and all sorts of other stuff. All right, so before I move on to what types of lights you should get, I also want to mention we have a few accent lights in the back here. This one over here, which is a blue light for just a little bit of accent, blue light hitting this side of the set. And then we have a orange light over there for a little accent light. Now you don't need those. That's just for aesthetics. And it can kind of make the background look a little better and add a little separation between the subject and the background because it's different colors. But now you know what these lights in the background are and their purpose. So let's move on to the lights themselves and which ones you should buy. So before I continue, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell icon so you get notified whenever we post a new video. So now, there are tons of light brands out there and all sorts of equipment, so it can get a little confusing. I'm going to suggest going with some newer soft boxes, anywhere from like $20 to $50 depending on how big they are. So this lighting setup is very bare bones and it's not ideal, but it'll get you some decent lighting on a budget. So as I said, some cheap soft boxes from Newer, ranging from $20 to $50 depending on the size. So now, what about the actual lights? Well, I'm going to suggest some Emmert bulbs. That's a brand, Emmert. For 2 of them, they're about $60. So now these Emmert bulbs are 105 watts. So just to give an example of what they'll look like and what the mounting system is. Obviously, the 105 bulbs are quite a bit bigger, but for the most part, it's the same. The mounting system is just this little bracket here, and this will connect to a light stand, and then you can mount an umbrella over this or a soft box. So for video, just avoid the cheap umbrellas. You're better off going with a soft box. Just pay a little extra money. You'll get way better results. Believe me, I've tried filming with umbrellas and, well, me and Noah have, and it just does not look as good unless you invest a lot into expensive umbrellas. Here's an example of us using umbrellas. Ugh. So now we need something to hold up the light and the soft box. And that's going to be a light stand. You might notice I've been mentioning the name Newer a lot, and Newer is not a sponsor of this channel. We just really like the equipment. It's a great price for great quality in our opinion. So not a sponsor, but we do suggest these products. So Newer has some pretty decent light stands. You can get a single 6-foot light stand from Newer. That's pretty decent quality for 20 bucks, or you can get a 2-pack of that same light stand for just $30. But if you want to go a little heavier duty and a little taller, and I would suggest going for some height so you can really raise those stands up depending on how tall your subject is. They also sell a 2-pack of heavier duty 9-foot stands for $60, which in my opinion is a great deal, and they're pretty decent stands. Now, these are cheaper quality stands and they will use cheaper materials, so they're probably not going to last as long as a really expensive stand if you invest $100 or $200 into one. But they can get you through like a year of filming at least, or even more, and allow you to get some great content out. So now, this is not part of the light, but sandbags are quite important. You might be filming outdoors and it might be kind of windy, or you might have your light on like a hillside and it's kind of precarious. You can throw some sandbags over the legs of your light stands to hold them down and keep them planted. Or you can just do this in a studio to prevent anybody from accidentally tripping over and knocking the whole light stand. That helps a lot. I know I've been somebody who has knocked over a pretty expensive light in a TV studio. That's kind of a scary thing to do. But if you just throw some sandbags on the base of your light stands, you can prevent that from happening. So now what might surprise you is we're actually using this budget setup. So right here I have a $30 Neewer softbox with a grid to direct the light at me, so it's nice and hard for a nice, good, sharp key light. Then over here I have a $20 softbox with a diffuser in front of it that is giving me some nice soft light from the side to fill in the hard shadows from this key light. And they're both using the 105 watt bulbs that I mentioned before. Now behind me, this light right there, that is actually using a 45 watt bulb and a homemade light modifier to direct the light at me. So you can get creative and make your own modifiers. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Just avoid anything flammable, and I'm going to suggest not use anything metal if it's going to come close to the bulb, because there's a higher chance of breaking it, like sharp metal edges. Just keep your bulbs safe because they are kind of expensive. So now this accent light, if you want to pick one of these up, this is a Yongnuo 216, and it's just $50. This we put on a blue filter so we can use it as an accent light, but you could use this as a backlight or hair light, whatever you want to call it, if you just took off that filter and just let it shine on the back of your head, and it's plenty bright enough. And that right there is just a normal house light with just a normal house bulb, really warm, you can tell. So really nothing fancy or super expensive, but as you can see, the lighting looks pretty good. So this just proves that you can get good lighting on a really low budget. And that's all.
When you move your arms a lot, the Konica camera wiggles. The whole floor wiggles.